Hello, my little. Let me start again. Hello, my little pony fans. My name is Charlie Carvette Equestrian, and I am going to read you the famous story that I've wrote into that I wrote in the script. Forgive me. I am mild autistic, so it's going to take me a few goes to get things right. The script I'm going to read to you all is called My Little Pony: The Legend of the Humacorn, Volume 1, Part 1. So I'm going to read you a few chapters and see what you like. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to read my story to you in this tablet that I'm holding right now. This story is about a mild autistic human fan. Well, let me start again. A mild autistic human My Little Pony fan named Charlie Carvette Equestrian is the future grandson of Carvette, the legendary Humacorn, who banished the Storm King to the south of Equestria. The retired princesses Celestia and Luna came to his world to help Charlie become the next Humacorn and restore Ancient Equestria from the Storm Queen with the main five. This story is based on my life and dreams. So I'm going to read the. I'm trying to find it. There we are. So I'm going to read you a few chapters, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you like it. Chapter 1: Charlie Carvette Equestrian. The Humacorn historical sequence. Princess Celestia narrated the story. 3,000 moons ago, before Equestria was founded, there was a human from another world who came to our world. His name is Carvette. He discovered a crystal that will restore and unite every pony, the Humacorn crystal. When he grabbed it, he transformed into a Humacorn, half human, half alicorn, which is Earth Pony, Pegasus, and Unicorn altogether. And he also attained the equestrian sword, which was found under the sea. The Storm King ruled our world and caused chaos and disharmony before Golgar and Discord did. Carvette drew his sword and destroyed every storm creature alone. Then he used his powers to defeat the Storm King and banish him to the south. Carvette broke the crystal into 3 pieces, which contains 3 powers: the belief of the Earth Pony, the friendship of the Pegasus, and the magic of the Unicorn. He used his magic to separate them. He used his magic to separate them to each undiscovered lands, so every pony will find and learn peace and harmony like friendship on their own in the distant future. Carvette went back to his world and used his last remaining magic to create an island where all humans and animals can unite and live in harmony, the Equestrian Island. He became a hero, a legend, the legendary Humacorn, Carvette Equestrian. I've been telling every pony that story so many times, except my star pupil, Twilight Sparkle, who is now the new princess of Equestria and the lead guardian of harmony after me and my sister Luna. We already told her and her friends that we are retiring to Silver Shores, but that was just a little white lie. We have retired, but to another world where the Humacorn lives. What we didn't tell Twilight is we're on a quest to find Carvette Equestrian and bring him back to Equestria because Luna and I have a vision of the Storm King's return after his second defeat in Canterlot. I hope Twilight does forgive me and understand that Equestria isn't completely safe. Location: Equestrian Island. Area: Flutter Forest. In the night, a 10-year-old boy named Charlie Carvette Equestrian was playing pretend with his toy sword. And Charlie said, "All right, every pony, it's time to save Equestria. Charlie, help me stop Nightmare Moon. And Applejack, you and the other stop Discord from casting chaos. Don't let him hypnotize you. Let's fight off the bad guys." Charlie was playfully fighting the air with his sword, span around and fell on the grass whilst laughing. Charlie said while laughing. Charlie was looking at the moon and stars in the sky, and he was smiling and talking to himself. I love My Little Pony. I mean, I haven't seen the 80s version, but Friendship is Magic is way better. I hope there are more. I hope there'll be more seasons, a couple of movies, or maybe a video game. I hope it's a role-playing game. The Japanese ones are my favorite. Charlie looked sad while he was still talking to himself. I don't know why my dad left my mom last year, but he's always there for me. My mom hasn't been herself since the day it happened. I just hope she'll be there for me someday. Charlie got up from the grass and looked happy. Charlie said, if Equestria exists, I could take my parents there. Then Charlie Sparkle can help with their friendship problems, and my mom will be there for me. Just like my dad. And we'll be a family again. Charlie sighed and looked sad. Who am I kidding? I know the place doesn't exist. My Little Pony is only a cartoon. I mean, it would be real if any cartoon characters like Celestia and Luna comes to my world from a magical portal behind me. A big magic portal appeared behind Charlie. A big magic portal appeared behind Charlie as he turned around and saw it. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna appeared from the magic portal and it disappeared behind them. Princess Luna said, Are you sure this is a white world? Are you sure this is a white world, sister? Celestia said, Yes, Luna. According to his journal, Carvette created this island 3,000 moons ago with his Humacorn magic. So once you find him, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna spotted Charlie, who looked surprised. Princess Luna and Princess Celestia whispered to each other. Luna says, Why is this creature staring at us like that? And Celestia said, I don't know. I believe this creature is a human. Princess Celestia slowly walked closer to Charlie. She said, Hello, little human. Charlie screamed in happiness. Ah! Princess Luna jumped by surprise while Princess Celestia calmed Charlie down. She said, It's okay, we're not going to harm you. Charlie stopped screaming and said, Why would you think that you will? Luna said, Then why are you screaming? Charlie said, Because I'm very happy to meet the famous princesses, Celestia and Luna. Celestia said, You know about us? Charlie said, Yes, Charlie always gives me friendship reports. Then she and her friends used the elements of harmony to save Luna from being Nightmare Moon, and they used it again to stop Discord from causing chaos. And Luna had a fantastic time in Nightmare Night. Princess Celestia and Luna looked surprisingly happy. Celestia said, Go on. And Charlie said, That's it. That's all I know so far. I watched all the seasons 1. That's it. That's all I know so far. I watched all season 1 episodes of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic on TV. Now I'm at season 2. The next episode is Housewarming Eve. It will be on this Christmas. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna looked confused. Celestia said, TV? Luna said, Episodes? Charlie said, You don't know what TV is? All right, I'll explain it to you. A TV is a short word for television. It's like a storybook, but instead of reading it, you watched it while you're sitting down and eating popcorn or any food. Celestia said, Oh, so it's like a theater. Charlie said, Yes, it is like a theater. Celestia said, Wow, that's something we understand. Wow, that's something we can understand, little human. Princess Luna whispered to Princess Celestia. Celestia, remember why we're here? And Celestia said, Oh, right. Princess Celestia looked at Charlie. Well, she said, Where are my manners? What is your name, little human? Charlie said, My name is Charlie Carvette Equestrian. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna looked surprised. Luna said, "Did you say Carvette?" Charlie said, "That's my real name. My mom gave me that from the founder of Equestrian Island, Carvette Equestrian. He was my fairy time's great grandfather." Luna said, "So you're his fairy time's great grandson?" Charlie said, "Yes, and that makes my dad his 29 times great grandfather, I think." Celestia said, "Have you met your grandfather?" Charlie said, "No, I see a statue of him. I see a statue of him at the city. No, I see the statue of him at City Hall every day. He founded this island before I was born, 3,000 years ago, or moons if you like to call it." Celestia said, "It's okay. We only know what years is." Luna said, "Tell me, Charlie, how did you know about your grandfather?" Charlie said, "I read his books about him in Saturn. I read books about him in the Saddle Library. He goes to this new world, finds a magic sword, finds crystals that turns it into a human alicorn, and defeats the Storm King. Everyone in this island believes it's just a story to impress a kid like me. But I believe it's real because I love magic and magic ponies." Princess Celestia and Princess Luna smiled. Celestia said, "Oh, that is so sweet." Luna said, "Charlie, we must know more about your grandfather. The world he came to is our world. We're only here to find him. So can you bring him? Can you bring him back to Quest? So can let me start again." Luna says, "Luna, we know." Princess Luna says, "Charlie, we know more about your grandfather. The world he came to is our world. We're only here to find him so we can bring him back to Equestria." And Charlie heard the voice of his father, Malcolm Equestrian, from the distance. Malcolm said, "Charlie, are you in the forest?" Charlie said, "Yes, Dad, I'm just playing as usual." Malcolm said, "Well, don't move. I'm coming to look for you." Charlie looked frightened and said, "Oh no, my dad is coming." So she said, "What's wrong? We'd love to meet your dad." Charlie said, "You don't understand. In my world, magic and alicorns are just made up. They don't exist. So if my dad sees you, he'll panic." Princess Luna agreed with Charlie and said, "He might be right. He might be right. Charlie, has your dad been to this forest before?" Charlie said, "No, but he will any minute if we don't find a place to hide." No. And Charlie said, "No, but he will any minute if you don't find a place to hide." Princess Celestia Princess Celestia was thinking and said, "I have an idea. Luna, follow my lead." Princess Celestia and Princess Luna used their magic from their horns to make lots of bricks, and cement appeared out of nowhere. Then they levitate them in the air and they quickly build a mansion. After that, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna used their magic to shapeshift into human forms. They looked at Charlie. Celestia said, "Well, what do you think?" Charlie looked surprised and said, "Wow, you built a mansion?" No, "Wow, you can build a mansion and change into humans? Neato!" Malcolm called out of the bushes. Malcolm crawled out of the bushes and saw Charlie and walked up to him. He said, "There you are, Charlie boy. Your mom called me and she wants to. Your mom called me." It's like, "There you are, Charlie boy. Your mom called me and she wants me to take you home." Malcolm saw Princess Celestia and Princess Luna in their human forms. Malcolm said, "Oh, hello, ladies. I hope my son didn't bother you." Celestia said, "No, not at all. Your son's very interesting. He's been telling us about My Little Pony." Malcolm smiled and said, "Well, that's because he really loves that cartoon series." Malcolm looked at the mansion behind Charlie, Princess Celestia, and Princess Luna. He said, "Wow, what a mansion! I've never seen it before." "Well, it's my first time here. I always wait for Charlie Boy outside the forest," Mrs. Celestia said. "Everfleet. Cindy Everfleet. And this is my sister, Linda." Malcolm said, "My name's Malcolm. I'm a member of the electrician patrol. My name's Malcolm. I'm a member of the electrician patrol." Yeah, let me start again. Malcolm said, "My name is Malcolm. I'm a member of the electrician patrol in the Equestrian City." Luna said, "So you're a wonderbolt?" Malcolm said, "I wish. I haven't got promoted yet. So how long have you ladies been living in Flutter Forest?" Celestia said, "About a week. Since we've been retired, we decided to come and live here in peace and harmony." Charlie looked surprised and said, "Wait, you're retired?" Charlie said, "Wait, you're retired? You're retired? Why?" No, don't tell me. I'll figure it out myself, if you know what I mean." Charlie winked at Princess Celestia and smiled. And she said, "I do." Malcolm said, "Well, you're in luck. This island has been in peace and harmony since it was first founded." Malcolm gave Princess Celestia a map and a brochure. Malcolm said, "Here, this is the map and brochure. It will help you where you go and give you some information. If you want to learn more about this island, you can go to the Cell Library." Yeah, Cell Library. Celestia said, "I believe Charlie already told us that." Charlie said, "That's right. Well, I gotta go. My mom is probably worried about me. I gotta watch more My Little Pony episodes so I can. And I got to also. That's right. Well, I gotta go. My mom is probably worried about me. I gotta watch more My Little Pony episodes. And I also got to finish writing a story." Luna says, "What kind of story?" Charlie said, "A My Little Pony story. I haven't came up with a title yet, but I've got to watch the show and get some more ideas. I don't know how long it would take, but I'll let you know sorry, let me start again. A My Little Pony story. I haven't come up with a title yet. I've got to watch the show and get some ideas. I don't know how long it would take, but I'll let you know when it's finished. I mean, I know about Ponyville, Canterlot, the Main Six, the Humacorn, and Discord." Princess Celestia smiled. She said, "Mr. Equestrian, your son has a brilliant imagination. How can he remember a lot about My Little Pony?" Malcolm said, "My son was born with autism, and watching that show calms him down. And playing JRPG video games." Luna says, I think we need to learn about this autism and video games in Seattle Library." Malcolm said, "You do that. Come on, Charlie boy, let's take you home." Charlie looked embarrassed. "Oh, Dad, do you have to keep calling me that?" After Charlie and his dad left the forest, Princess Luna was wondering what Princess Celestia was thinking. Luna said, "What do you have in mind, Celestia?" Celestia said, "If Charlie said he hasn't seen his ancient grandfather and this island has been found 3,000 years ago, then he's nowhere to be found." Luna said, "What should we do?" Celestia said, "We need to watch over him, and when the time is right, we will tell him that his ancient grandfather is the legendary Humacorn." Inside the car, Malcolm was driving in the city, while Charlie was sitting in the passenger seat. Malcolm said, "You know, Miss Everfree and her sister are very nice people, and I know what they are." Charlie looked surprised. He said, "You do?" Malcolm said, "Yes. They're teachers. I recognize their uniforms." Charlie sighed in relief, and Malcolm said, Your mom is going to sign you up for school in 2 days, but instead I'll ask Cindy and Linda to tutor you in their mansion. Then I'll take you there every day, pick you up before dinner, and you'll be staying with me on weekends and holidays. Would you like that?" Charlie looked happy. "Would I? Thanks, Dad. This would give me more time to write my story, watch My Little Pony, and finish my JRPG games." What video game? Let me say again. Charlie said, "Would I? Thanks, Dad. That would give me more time to write my story, watch My Little Pony, and finish my JRPG video games. And when I finish, I'm going to hire an agent and send my story to Hasbro in America." Malcolm said, "And I promise all of your dreams will come true, Charlie boy. Nothing will happen to you." Charlie smiled and rolled his eyes. Opening credits and the theme song, A Place with No Name by Michael Jackson. Malcolm stopped his car and Charlie got out and went inside his house, waving goodbye to his dad. While waving goodbye to his dad. Inside the house, Charlie kissed his mom Samantha Crystal on the cheek and ran upstairs to his bedroom. Inside Charlie's bedroom, there were a lot of My Little Pony toys, books, posters, and bed sheets. As the years passed, Charlie has been doing some tutoring with Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, watching My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and Equestria Girls, writing his story, and staying with his dad all weekends and holidays. Samantha looked worried and never bothered to contact her son. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna showed full tickets to see My Little Pony the movie to Charlie, and they and Malcolm went to the cinema and watched it. After Charlie watched all 9 season episodes of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, he was struggling to finish his story, but he got a high weight of writer's block. Charlie was about to give up until he watched My Little Pony, A New Generation on Netflix. When he saw Sunny Star Scout on the TV screen, he realized he should never give up. Charlie went back to writing his story, and after he finished it, he wrote a title on the front of the page and that said, My Little Pony, The Legend of the Humacorn. Subtext, 10 years later. Location, Charlie's house. Area, Charlie's bedroom. Charlie, who is now 20 years old, looked happy as he looked at his finished story. He said, I did it! After 10 long years of watching My Little Pony, I finally completed my best story ever. My Little Pony, The Legend of the Humacorn, which is half human, half alicorn. My mom is going to love this. Samantha called out to Charlie. Samantha, yeah. Charlie, would you come downstairs, please? I want to talk to you. Charlie said, Coming, Mom! Charlie grabbed his story and left his bedroom. Area, the living room. Charlie went downstairs and entered the room where his mom was sitting on the couch. Charlie said, Mom, you never guess what I've done. Samantha said, would you sit down, please? Charlie said, but Mom, this is important. Samantha said, I said sit down. Charlie looked worried and quickly sat on the couch. Samantha says, Charlie, for the last 10 years, you've been watching TV, playing video games, and you've been talking to yourself too loudly. So I come with a decision. Charlie said, what kind of decision? Samantha says, I signed you up to live in a care home in America. Charlie looked scared as he got up from the couch. What? Why? Samantha said, You and I have been arguing for a long time, and us living together is too much for me. You'll be leaving tomorrow. Charlie didn't look happy as he turned away from his mom. He said, I'm not going. I'm staying here. Samantha says, Charlie, this separation is the only way to fix our relationship. Charlie said, but it never worked with you and you. Charlie said, but it never worked with you and my. No, Charlie said, but it never worked with you and Dad. Sam says, I know, dear, but this island is giving you nothing but trouble. You must listen to me. Charlie said, no, I will not listen to you. I hate care homes. Samantha says, but this one would be good for you. You'll make some friends. Charlie looked frustrated. He said, friends? With mental problems and different autism? Mom, I just want to make friends with someone who doesn't have any of those things. Samantha says firmly, you listen to me, young man. You're going to live in the care home tomorrow, and there's nothing you can do about it. End of discussion. Charlie looked at his mom and said, and stay calm. And he said, I know why you want to put me in a care home. Ever since my dad left, you decided not to be there for me and not to contact me, so you can hire someone I don't know to do it for you. Samantha looked scared, and Charlie smiled. He said, and why aren't I? You never wanted to know me because you only wanted to worry about yourself. Everybody knows that a mom should always be Yeah, everybody knows that a mom should worry about her son. Now I see you're not one of them. You're a bad mom. I'm yeah, she says, you're a bad mom. I'm going to walk to town, see Cindy, Linda, and maybe my dad for the last time. So I'll never have to worry about kissing my dreams goodbye. Bye, Mom! Charlie grabbed his rucksack, put his story inside, carried it on his back, and left the living room. Samantha tried to stop her son. Charlie, wait! After Charlie left the house, his mom looked sad. She said, I'm not a bad mom. End of part 1. Chapter 2. Celestia and Luna. Location, Rainbow Valley. Area, Town Square. Town Square, I mean. Charlie was looking at other families having great times with their children. Then he sadly looked at his reflection on the water where the statue of Carvette Equestrian is, and he began to sing She's Out of My Life by Michael Jackson. Musical sequence. So you guys have to imagine it and, well, use your imagination. After the song ended, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, who is in their human form, saw Charlie sitting next to the statue looking sad and crying softly. They both looked worried. Celestia said, Charlie? Charlie saw Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. Then he got up and hugged him. And he said while crying, Celestia! Luna! I'm so glad to see you! Charlie, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna comfort Charlie. Celestia said, Don't worry, child, we're here. But you know you shouldn't say our real names in public. What happened? Charlie said, It's my mom. Well, Luna said, Come and sit down with us. Charlie, Princess Celestia, and Princess Luna sat next to the statue. Luna said, Now tell us what happened. Charlie said, My mom signed me up to live in a care home in America, which means I have to leave the island. Celestia said, Why? Charlie said, Because I've been watching TV, playing video games, and talking to myself too loudly. I kept telling Mom I can't help it. But it led to an argument. Celestia said, But we know you can't help it. It's part of your autism, and we got used to it. Charlie said, I know, but I told Mom today, and she's only putting me in a care home because she never wants to be there for me or contact me. She wants someone to do it for her, and she's not talking about my dad. Luna said, How did she react after you said that to her? Charlie said, A little bit scared. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna looked at each other, and then they looked at Charlie. Luna said, That means she knows you're telling the truth, but she's afraid to admit it. Charlie said, I know, but there's some other things I haven't told you about my mom. After I was finishing touring with you two, my dad takes me home, but my mom wasn't there, so he decided to stay with me until she comes home. We've been waiting until 10 p.m. every day. Luna said, Is it still happening? Charlie said, Yes. She kept telling me she'll be home on time, and she never tried. Celestia said, Charlie, I know this is hard to accept, but your mom chose not to worry about you. She only wants to worry about herself, and I think that's the reason why your father left her. Charlie agreed with Princess Celestia. He said, You're right. I've been having that feeling for 10 years now, and you're right. I was going to show Mom my story, but she'll never be interested now. Luna said, So when are you going to leave? Charlie said, Tomorrow morning. And I know I'll never be happy when that happens. Princess Celestia had an idea and said, There's still time. Princess Celestia took out a smartphone from her purse. Charlie said, What are you going to do? Celestia said, I'm going to phone your mother and tell her that I'm putting you in my care. Your father gave me her phone number. Princess Celestia used her smartphone and heard Samantha's voice from it, and after it rang a few times, Samantha said on the phone, "Hello?" Celestia said, "Hello, Hello, Miss Crystal. This is Cindy Everfree, Charlie's teacher." Samantha said, "Oh yes, Malcolm told me all about you and your sister. Is Charlie okay?" Celestia said, "He was sad at first, but he's fine. He also told us that you're moving him into a care home tomorrow. Is it true?" Samantha says, "Yes, in America. I already signed him up on email and I haven't sent it yet, but I'm going to after lunch." Celestia said, "Well, you don't need to because Linda and I are going to put Charlie in our care and live with us, if that's okay with you." Samantha said, "Are you sure you can handle it?" Celestia said, "Of course. Over 20 years ago, I helped a little um, girl to help her learn about friendship. She was my faithful student and she taught everyone that friendship is magic. That was before I knew about My Little Pony. Then 10 years ago, I let her take over my place as a leader of friendship, where she can take care of herself with her friends. That's that was when me and Linda decided to retire and move to Equestrian Island to help someone, like your son." Samantha said, "That sounds very interesting, Miss Everfree. Could you please tell me the name of the little girl you looked after?" Celestia said, "Her name is Twilight Sparkle." Samantha said, "Twilight Sparkle?" Celestia said, "That's right, dear. Her parents gave her that name from the character from My Little Pony." Samantha said, "Well, then I trust you to put my son in your care. He can move in with you today if he wants to." Uh, Celestia said, "I'll let him know and call you back. Bye." Princess Celestia hung up her smartphone and looked at Charlie. Celestia said, "Charlie, you don't have to leave the island. Your mom just put me and my sister in your care, so you can move with us today. So you can move in with us today if you want." Charlie looked happy and excited. He said, "Celestia, this is huge! Of course I'm moving with you! This is what I always wanted when I first met you and Luna! I won't have to worry about my problems and my dreams anymore!" Charlie hugged Princess Celestia. He said, "Thank you, Celestia. I mean, Cindy. Celestia said, "You're welcome." Charlie calmed himself down and said, "So after moving to your mansion, are you going to take me to Equestria?" Celestia said, "When the time is right, I'll take you there." Luna said, "Both of us." This is just me reading in the tablet. This is just me reading my story in the tablet. In the tablet, yeah. Charlie smiled. Location, Charlie's house. Area, front yard. Charlie was walking to Princess Celestia's car while he was carrying a big box with his belongings. He put it in the trunk, and Princess Celestia closed it for him. Charlie sat in the back seat while Princess Celestia sat in the driver's seat and Princess Luna sat in the passenger seat. They closed the car doors and put their seatbelts on. Samantha was standing behind the front door of the house. Samantha said, "Are you sure he'll be alright living with you?" Celestia said, "Of course he will. Just give him a couple of days to adjust, and I'll give you a call." While Princess Celestia started the car, Samantha waved goodbye to Charlie. Samantha said, "Bye, Charlie." Charlie sadly looked at his mom and waved goodbye, while Princess Celestia drove her car and left Charlie's house. Samantha looked sad after he saw Charlie's face. Inside the car, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna looked at the car mirror and noticed Charlie looked sad. Luna said, "What's wrong, Charlie?" Charlie said, "It's nothing, Luna. It's just I don't want to say goodbye to Mom because my feelings are different. I know she loves me and I know I love her, but it's very difficult for me to believe it." Celestia said, "Well, don't worry. Once we arrive to our home, you're going to get a big surprise and I promise you will be happy." Location, Flutter Forest. Area, Maritime Mansion. Princess Celestia parked next to the garage. Then she, Princess Luna, and Charlie got out of the car. While Charlie went to collect his belongings from the car trunk, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna changed back into alicorns. Charlie said, "It was a good thing that you built a garage, Celestia." Celestia said, "And I did learn how to drive. And I did learn how." Oh, Celestia said, "And I did learn how to drive after Luna and I met you and your father. Humans are so nice." After Charlie got his big box of belongings out of the trunk, he saw his dad. He saw his dad's car next to Princess Celestia's car. Charlie said, "What's my dad's car doing here?" Luna said, "You'll see." Princess Celestia opened the front door with her key. Then she, Princess Luna, and Charlie went inside the mansion. Full stop. Princess Luna was using her levitating spell to carry Charlie's big box of belongings without using her hooves. In the hall, Charlie went to the living room and saw his dad sitting on the couch watching the news on TV. Charlie said, "Dad?" Malcolm saw Charlie, then he got up from the couch and happily hugged his son. He said, "Charlie boy!" Charlie said, "What are you doing here?" Malcolm let go of his son and said, "I live here, Charlie boy." Charlie said, "I told you not to call me Dad." "And what do you mean you live here?" Malcolm said, After I dropped you off to your mom's last Sunday, I went to work and your boss gave me my last paycheck and retired me. I didn't have enough money to keep my house, so Celestia and Luna took me to their home." Charlie looked surprised. He said, "What?" Princess Celestia and Princess Luna appeared in the living room. Celestia said, "That was the surprise." Charlie looked at Princess Celestia and Princess Luna and acted scared and defensive while pushing Dad away from them. Charlie said, "Giant ponies! Don't worry, Dad! I'll protect you! Just escape from the window while I hold them off!" Malcolm calmed his son down. He said, "Charlie boy, calm down! Your teachers told me everything." Charlie looked at Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. He said, "What? Why would you do that?" Celestia said, "Well, if your father's going to stay with us, we can't keep secrets from him anymore." Malcolm said, "Don't worry, son. I haven't told anyone, even your mom." Charlie looked relieved. He said, well, if you only told Dad about you two, then that's okay." Celestia said, "Great. I'm glad you understand. Luna, would you kindly show Charlie to his new room we prepared for him?" I was like, "Great. I'm glad you understand. Luna, would you kindly show Charlie to his new room we prepared..." Sorry, let me say that again. Celestia said, "Great. I'm glad you understand. Luna, would you kindly show Charlie to his new room we prepared for him?" Yeah. Celestia said, "Charlie?" Let me start again. Celestia said, "Great. I'm glad you understand. Luna, would you kindly show Charlie to his new room we prepared for him?" Luna said, "Certainly, sister. Charlie, come with me." Charlie followed Princess Luna and went downstairs. Princess Luna opened the door, and inside the room was a king-size bed, a big TV, a shower room, and a balcony. Charlie looked surprisingly happy while Princess Celestia put the big box of his belongings down to the floor. Luna said, "What do you think?" Charlie said, "It's perfect, Luna. Everything's perfect. Thank you for carrying my stuff for me. But it's going to take me an hour to unpack and stack them up." Luna said, "Allow me." Princess Luna used her magic to open the box and levitate all of Charlie's stuff in the air. She stacked his books in the bookshelf, stacked his clothes in the closet, pinned his posters on the walls, stacked his DVDs, CDs, and video games on the shelf, and set up his Nintendo Switch and plugged it onto his TV. Luna says, "There, all done. It took a minute too." Charlie said, "Wow! Now that's what I call magic! Thanks, Luna!" Charlie gave Princess Luna a big hug. Luna said, My pleasure, Charlie. I just want to make you happy. Princess Luna looked at Charlie's video games on the shelf. She said, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Trials of Mana. Charlie let go of Princess Luna. Oh, these are my Japanese video games I was telling you and Celestia about. The characters are all about working together, fighting bad guys, finding keys to dungeons and castles, finding treasure, and saving the world from the darkness. The light is their only weapon. But they don't just work as but they don't just work to, but they don't just work together as a team. When Celestia kept getting letters from Twilight, she told me all about them. And we've been watching her showing every pony about friendship and fought off all the villains we've encountered. And at the end, Twilight realized that she and the rest of the Guardians weren't just a team. They're friends. Charlie understood Princess Luna. I understand, Luna. It's just that friendship is stronger than family. Friends always help each other with their problems, but families sometimes help. But they mostly run away from them. That's what my mom's been doing all the time. But my dad never treats me as a parent. He treats me as a friend. Luna said, Is that why he's been calling you Charlie boy? Charlie said, Yes, but I wish you would ease down and just call me Charlie. Princess Luna smiled at Charlie. I know how you're feeling. Celestia and I always fight because being a family was always hard for us. Was very hard for us. But every time we get along as friends, it was easy because it felt right. Charlie said, Have you ever told Celestia about this? Princess Luna was thinking. She said, No, I haven't. I thought she knew. Charlie said, Maybe she will if you tell her. I'm sure she will agree. Luna says, You're right, Charlie. She will because friendship always helps every pony to get along by earning it. That's why it's magic. And family is very hard because they have to work for it. Charlie said, Friendship is magic and family is hard work. Luna said, Exactly. Princess Luna heard Princess Celestia calling out to her. Celestia said, Luna, could you help me with the kitchen? And I hope you're not helping Charlie unpack his stuff with your magic. Princess Luna looked a little bit nervous. She said, Uh-oh, I better go talk to her. I'll let you settle in, and we'll let you know when dinner's ready. Princess Luna was about to leave the room until Charlie stopped her. He said, Luna, wait! Luna stopped and Charlie smiled and he said, You and Celestia are going to be best carers because you two are my best friends. Princess Luna said, Thank you, Charlie. Princess Luna left the room and closed the door behind her. Charlie jumped with excitement. He said, Yes! Later that night, Charlie was in his new room, sitting on his bed, while playing Trials of Mana on his Nintendo Switch. Charlie said, Finding all the spirits is like finding the elements of harmony. Princess Celestia called out to Charlie. She said, Charlie, dinner's ready! We're having pizza! Charlie looked happy, paused the game, and left his bedroom. Charlie looked happy, paused his video game, and left his bedroom. He said, All right! In the dining room, Charlie, Malcolm, Princess Celestia, and Princess Luna were at a table eating pizza. Charlie said, Oh, Luna, I forgot to tell you something. Luna said, What is it? Charlie said, You and Celestia retired because you want Twilight and her friends to rule Equestria. Luna said, I assume you figured it out by watching the final season of My Little Pony? Charlie said, Yes. Luna said, Well, you're right. It happened 10 years ago. We want Twilight and her friends to rule Equestria because we trust them. They haven't written back to her. They haven't written us back, but I know they have anything. Sorry. They haven't written us back, but I know they have everything under control. Charlie looked at Princess Celestia reading his script. Charlie said, "So, Celestia, what do you think of my script?" Celestia said, "Charlie, your script is the most powerful story you have ever written. You and your dad are in it, and I'm also in it with Luna and who's Sunny Star Scout?" Charlie said, "She's the Earth Pony who is now an alicorn for My Little Pony, a New Generation movie. It came out on Netflix last month." Celestia said, "Ah, yes, Luna and I have seen that movie. It was amazing that Earth Pony wants to bring magic back and unite all ponies. She reminds me of Twilight." Princess Celestia passed on Charlie's script to Malcolm. End of part 2, which is chapter 2. Chapter 3, Charlie's Destiny. Malcolm said, "Charlie boy, your script was about nearly 1,000 pages. It might be too long for a movie, but not for a video game." Charlie said, "Movie, video game, it doesn't matter, as long as the Hasbro company likes it. But I need an agent." Malcolm said, "I'll be your agent. All I have to do is talk to the CEO about you. Then you can show him your script, and if he likes it, you're famous." Charlie smiled and said, "Yeah, thanks, Dad." Malcolm placed Charlie's script on the table. Then Princess Luna used her magic to levitate it to her and looked at the movie title. Luna said, "Charlie, where did you get the word Humacorn from?" Charlie said, "Well, I was watching Equestria Girls, and when I was watching Equestria Girls, I saw Sunset Shimmer in her human form used her magic to transform into a human alicorn. So I put these two words together, and voila! I came up with the word Humacorn. Someone else did before me, but that was a different story." Charlie and his dad noticed Princess Celestia and Princess Luna looked worried. Charlie said, "Wait, you two already know that word." Sorry. "Wait, you two already know that word?" "That's better." Luna said, "Charlie, do you remember we were about to tell you more about your grandfather 10 years ago?" Charlie said, "Yes." Celestia said, "Well, this is the right time. All of his stories you read were true. But what you don't know is your ancient grandfather, Carvette Equestrian, is a legendary Humacorn." Charlie looked surprised. He said, "Ancient grandfather?" Luna said, "It sounds better than 30 times great-grandfather." Princess Celestia looked at Malcolm. She said, "And Malcolm, Carvette is your ancient brother." Charlie said, "So not my ancient grandfather?" Malcolm said, "That was my mistake. So my ancient brother was a hero, and the other world he saved was Equestria?" Celestia said, "That's right. Humacorns like Carvette are half human and half alicorn, and they can live longer than humans." Charlie said, "Like 1,000 years?" Princess Celestia shook her head. Charlie said, 3,000? 5,000? Luna said, "Add another 5,000. Charlie and Malcolm looked surprised, and they both said in unison, 10,000 years? Luna said, "Yes." And then Celestia said, "When Carvette came to Equestria, he found the Humacorn crystal and used it to transform himself into one. And after he banished the Storm King, he divided the 3 crystals to 3: Earth Pony Crystal, Pegasus Crystal, and Unicorn Crystal. Then he sent them to a place where he can find them, but in 3 different areas." Charlie said, "You mean Maritime Bay, Bridlewood, and Seppel Heights?" Luna said, "Well, that might be possible. So yes." Charlie looked confused. He said, "Wait, if my grandfather can live for 10,000 years, how come he's not in the island?" Luna said, "When he found out witchcraft is evil after he created his..." Luna said, "After he found out witchcraft is evil, after he created this island, he knew he couldn't stay longer, so he used his powers to make him look old, and that made everybody believe that he was dying. Charlie said, so he faked his death and went back to Equestria? What about his family? Celestia said, they knew he's a Humacorn, but when the years went by, some of your ancestors believed it was just a story. Malcolm said, Celestia, how do you know all this? Celestia said, because we have met him. Charlie gasped, and said, you met my grandfather? Flashback sequence. Flashback sequence. Celestia said, yes, Charlie came back to Equestria after Twilight and her friends saved Luna. We have met him in Canterlot and became very good friends. We've been talking about his heroism. He's been talking about his heroism and his island from his world to us. We want to tell Twilight about Carvette, but he asked us not to yet. After the Friendship Festival, he told us the Storm King's spirit is still alive and he will find another way to take over Equestria. Carvette wanted us to meet him in his world, but we asked him to give us some time. Then when we had an idea to ask Twilight and her friends, that's when we had the idea to ask Twilight and her friends to rule Equestria while we were tired. Is this thing on? Hello? Oh, sorry, just testing. Present day sequence. Princess Celestia said, so when you came to our world, Celestia said, so when we came to your world and after we met you and your dad, we looked everywhere for your grandfather, but he was nowhere to be found. Luna said, so we decided to watch over you and take care of you. Charlie said, are you telling me that you only watched over me, took care of me, and put me under your care because I'm destined to become the next Humacorn and save Equestria by destroying the Storm King's spirit? Luna says, yes. Charlie paused for a few seconds and looked excited. That is amazing! I'm going to be the next Humacorn! Princess Celestia calmed Charlie down. She said, now settle down, Charlie. You still haven't obtained your powers yet. Luna said, but you're still a Humacorn on the inside. Charlie calmed himself down and Malcolm looked confused. He said, wait, I'm confused here. I'm confused here, Celestia. I heard these crystals restore magic and turn Sunny into an alicorn. Why are they so important to humans? Celestia said, because the crystals have 3 symbols. Earth Pony Crystal has the symbol of belief. The Pegasus Crystal has the symbol of friendship. And the Unicorn has, Malcolm said, the symbol of magic. Luna said, how'd you know? And Malcolm said, I don't know. I just know they use magic. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna smiled. Charlie got up from his chair. He said, so the 3 symbols on the crystals are meant to help every pony believe that friendship is magic? Luna said, exactly. Charlie said, I knew it! So when can we go to Equestria? Celestia said, well, we can go right now if you like. Celestia said, really? How? Celestia said, there's a dimensional mirror in the living room. It will take us there. Charlie said, just like in Equestria Girls. I better go pack my things. Charlie left the dining room and went upstairs. Malcolm looked worried and said, Celestia, are you sure this is a good idea? Celestia said, of course I'm sure. Equestria is protected by Twilight and her friends. And you don't have to worry, Malcolm, because you're coming with us too. Malcolm said, I am? Luna said, You didn't expect we're going to let your son go to Equestria without his father, did you? Malcolm smiled. He said, I'll get my smartphone. Malcolm left the dining room while Princess Celestia and Princess Luna went to the living room. Charlie was in his bedroom packing his My Little Pony books, his clothes, his smartphone, his Nintendo Switch, his candy, and his bottle of water in his rucksack. When Charlie picked up his family picture of him, his dad, his big sister, and his mom from his shelf, he looked sad. He said, "I better take it with me, so I won't regret it." Charlie put his family picture in his rucksack and zipped it close. He carried it from his bag and left his bedroom. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, and Malcolm were waiting in the living room while Charlie walked downstairs. Charlie went to the living room and said, "Okay, I'm all packed and ready to go. Where's the mirror you were telling me about?" Celestia said, "It's right here." Charlie looked at the mirror where Princess Celestia was pointing. Charlie said, "So, this mirror is the portal to Equestria?" Celestia said, "Yes. It will take us any place we want to go. So we're going to Candlelight and meet Twilight and her friends. No, so we're going to Candlelight to meet Twilight and her friends. They'll be thrilled to see you, Charlie. And I'm going to explain everything to Twilight. But first, let me get the map out. First, let me get the map out. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it will be all right." Princess Celestia used her magic to take the map of Equestria, appeared on the mirror. Then she looked shocked when she saw the storm clouds on every land and buildings have changed. So Celestia said, "Oh no, this isn't right." Malcolm said, "What's wrong?" Celestia said, "Equestria looks different. There are storm clouds and dark magic. Everything we know has changed." Malcolm appeared on the mirror. Sorry, a message appeared on the mirror, and Princess Celestia read it. Celestia said, "A message. It says Equestria has been taken over by the Storm King, forces all the free pony kinds to separate, and all the magic of friendship has disappeared 1,000 years ago." Luna said, "But that's impossible. We've been gone for 10 years. Celestia said, "Maybe some pony or someone else must have fiddled with the dimensional mirror back in the Crystal Empire, which let us travel to Charlie's world, but in the future." Luna said, "Are you sure?" Celestia said, "I don't know, but we're going to find out." Charlie saw some cutie marks appeared on the map. He said, "Celestia, check it out. There's cutie marks on the map." Charlie pointed out the cutie marks. He said, "There's Twilight Sparkles, Applejack, Rarities, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, and Pinkie Pies. Look, there's the Cutie Mark Crusaders. There's Trixie's, there's Sandbar, and the Storm King's Realm. Starlight Glimmers. Oh, there's 5 more cutie marks. Oh, there's 5 more cutie marks I know on that island. Without any, sorry. Oh, there's 5 more cutie. Oh, there's 5 more cutie marks I know on the island without any storm clouds. Next to Mount Eris. Sunny Star Scout, Izzy Moonbows, Hitch Trailblazer, Pip-Pels, and Zip Storms." Charlie said, "He's right. And if I'm correct, the Storm King must have turned him into stone." Luna said, "That means they're still alive. Unless he smashes them into pieces. Let's hope he hasn't done that." Charlie said, "How come there's no marks of dragons and griffins?" Celestia said, "I don't know, but let's hope they're okay." Sorry about that, I'm a little bit tired, but I'm almost done. Princess Luna noticed a mirror color on the island that Charlie was pointing at. Luna said, there's still some magic of friendship left on that island." Charlie looked surprised. "Of course! That's why Maritime Bay Bright went in separate heights is! When Sunny and her friends united every pony, the crystals transformed it into an alicorn and made a sonic rainbow that restored every pony's magic. This must have happened before or after the movie was released on Netflix." Luna says, "You're probably right, Charlie. Sunny did restore the magic of friendship. But how come it didn't spread all over Equestria? Celestia said, Let's go to Maritime Bay and ask Sunny ourselves. Princess Celestia Princess Celestia pressed Maritime Bay on the mirror and nothing happened. Celestia said, it doesn't seem to let us go there. Charlie said, Why not? Celestia said, Because we've never been there before. There's only one place the mirror will let us go to. The Storm King's Realm. Malcolm looked surprised and said, The Storm King's Realm? The Storm King's Realm? Would you excuse us? Malcolm took his son to the hall. Malcolm Equestrian said, he said, Charlie boy, I don't think we should go. The Storm King's Realm sounds dangerous. But Dad, this is my dream. We have to go. Besides, Celestia and Luna's magic is very powerful. They'll protect us from the storm creatures. And if my ancient grandfather isn't in our world, he must be in Equestria waiting for us. Malcolm said, Yes, but it's still too risky. Charlie didn't look happy and used reverse psychology on his dad. He said, All right, forget about it. We don't have to go. Malcolm said, We don't? And Charlie said, No, I'll just tell Celestia to shut the portal, let the Storm King have Equestria, and I'll call my mom to tell her I don't like living here, so she can send me to a care home in America. Malcolm was scared and stopped his son. He said, Wait! All right, we'll go. Sorry. All right, wait! All right, we can go. Charlie smiled. Thanks, Dad. Charlie and his dad went back to the living room. Celestia said, Is everything all right? Malcolm said, It's okay, Celestia. We were just getting things off our chests. Celestia said, Well, that's good. I'll set the pole to the Storm King's Realm. Malcolm stopped Princess Celestia after he saw a new cutie mark on the map. Malcolm said, Wait! There's a cutie mark next to Starlight's. I've never seen it before. Charlie looked closer at the new cutie mark. Charlie said, It looks like a lollipop filled with fizzy bubbles, with a twisted berry on top. Charlie looked surprised after he realized what the cutie mark was. Charlie said, Fizzle Pop Berry Twist! Luna said, Tempest Shadow's real name? Charlie said, Yes. But what is she doing in the Storm King's Realm? She doesn't work with him anymore. Celestia said, We know that, Charlie. Celestia was thinking and said, Looks like this is a rescue mission. Princess Celestia pressed the Storm King's Realm on the mirror and the portal changed. Are you ready, Charlie? Celestia said, Are you ready, Charlie? Charlie said, Ready. Celestia said, Once we go through, there's no turning back. Charlie said, I understand. Now, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna went through the portal first. Then Charlie went through after them. Malcolm looked at the portal, closed his eyes, and slowly went through. Wormhole sequence. Location, the Storm King's Realm. Area, Castle, the Grey Hole. Malcolm came out from another dimensional mirror, and Charlie grabbed him before he fell to the floor. Charlie said, Dad! It's all right, we made it! Malcolm saw Princess Celestia and Princess Luna with his son. Luna said, This must be your first trip through the wormhole. Don't worry, you two will get used to it. Malcolm felt relief, and behind him he saw the portal from the dimensional mirror disappear. Malcolm said, Okay, so there is no turning back. It's a good thing I watched Stargate. Charlie and his dad looked around and saw blue fire torches on the walls and the Storm King's symbol on the big tapestry. Malcolm said, So we're inside the Storm King's castle. Charlie said, Yeah, it wasn't in the movie, but it was in the art book. The animators never used it. Luna said, We can't stay here for long. I sense storm creatures nearby. That's what Luna says. Celestia said, Luna's white. It's best if we separate. Charlie, Luna and I will go and find. Excuse me. Celestia said, Luna's white. It's best if we separate. Charlie, Luna and I will go and find Tempest Shadow, while you and your dad go find Starlight Glimmer. Princess Celestia took the crystal out of her satchel and gave it to Charlie. Celestia said, take this. No, here, take this. Charlie said, what is it? Celestia said, the crystal Asacanas. It came from the Storm King. It came from the Storm King's staff. It came from the Storm King's staff. Try to use it to free us and restore Equestria. Charlie said, oh yeah, I remember that. Princess Celestia said, if you see Starlight Glimmer or any creature turned to stone, use the crystal to free them. Charlie said, so how are we going to free Tempest? Charlie said, so how are you going to free Tempest? Luna said, our magic is stronger. We'll know what to do. Princess Celestia held Charlie's hand with her hooves. Charlie, listen. Celestia said, Charlie, listen carefully. If anything happens to us, and if you ever need us, call our names. We will always be there for you wherever you go. Charlie looked confused. Charlie said, what do you mean by that? Celestia said, you need to trust us, Charlie. Charlie looked surprised. Charlie looked at Princess Celestia's eyes and nodded and said, okay, I trust you. Princess Celestia smiled. End of part 3, which is chapter 3. Chapter 4, Princess Skystar. Celestia said, okay, there are 2 holes, east and west. You 2 go to the east hole, while Luna and I go to the west hole. Once you find Starlight, meet us in the great hall, and we'll use our magic to take us to Maritime Bay, okay? Charlie took a deep breath and said, okay. Luna said, and watch out for the storm creatures. They're very strong. Princess Celestia and Princess Luna went to the west hall, and Charlie and his dad went to the east hall. Charlie and his dad were walking in the hall. Malcolm said, there's so many rooms. How are we going to find Starlight now? Charlie said, looks like we have to search every room, but we've got to do it quietly. Charlie and his dad heard footsteps and saw 2 storm creatures' shadows on the walls. Malcolm said, somebody's coming. Charlie panicked and found the room from the left with the open door. Charlie whispered, Dad, that door is open. Let's quickly get inside. Malcolm and his dad went into the room and closed the door behind them, before the storm creatures spotted them. Inside the room, Charlie and his father looked surprised when they saw a king-size bed and a big portrait of the Storm King. Malcolm said, what is this place? Charlie said, I think we're in the Storm King's master bedroom. Malcolm said, that explains the king-size bed. Charlie looked around the room and found a glowing, broken, dark orchid unicorn horn on the table. Charlie said, Dad, check it out. Look what I found. Malcolm said, what is it? Charlie picked up the unicorn horn, and Malcolm walked up to his son and saw what he was hiding. Malcolm said, is that a crystal? Charlie said, no, it's Tempest Shadow's unicorn horn. Malcolm said, but why is it glowing? It's magic. Charlie said, it's magic. Charlie said, it's magic. Tempest must have had some of it inside her, and the rest is in her horn. Dad, do you know Tempest lost her horn from the Elsa Major in the movie? Malcolm said, yes. Charlie said, well, I had a feeling the Storm King found Tempest's horn before he found her and used her. Tempest Shadow's temperature shows unicorn horn in his pocket. He said, I'll keep hold of this. She'll be happy when I give it to her. Malcolm said, oh, she'll get mad if you tell her the Storm Queen found it. Charlie said, yeah, I know her character. She does get angry sometimes. Malcolm turned around and saw a hippogriff statue. Thinking it was a griffin, Malcolm said, I can see the Storm Queen had made. I can see the Storm Queen. Sorry. Malcolm said, I can see the Storm King made. I can see the Storm King had made a griffin statue. Charlie said, what? Charlie looked at the statue and said, that's not a griffin, that's a hippogriff. Charlie looked surprised and said, I know her. Malcolm said, who? Charlie said, it's Princess Skystar. The Storm Queen must have turned into stone. The Storm King must have turned into stone. Malcolm said, why would he do that? Charlie said, we'll find out once we free her. Let's see if the crystal works. Charlie touched the statue with the crystal of Staccanus. Then the statue was covered with white light and Princess Skystar was free. Charlie and his dad looked surprised when they saw her looking around. She said, Where am I? What happened? Wait, am I still in the Storm King's castle? Charlie said, Princess Skystar? Princess Skystar turned around and saw Charlie and his dad. Then she walked up to Charlie and took a closer look at his face. She said, your eyes, your nose, your ears. Are you human? Charlie said, yes, I'm human. Then Skystar said, then that must mean. Skystar looked happy and said, I'm right! I did see him! Did you hear that, Mom? I did imagine him! My name is Skystar, and I saw you flying around my castle every night. And is it true? Sorry. My name is Skystar, and I saw you flying around my castle every night. Is it true that humans become Humacorns? Did you really banish the Storm King? Tell me everything! Charlie calmed Princess Skystar down. He said, whoa, take it easy, Princess. I believe you're talking about my grandfather. Skystar said, Grandfather? Are you his grandson? Charlie said, yes, my name is Charlie Carvette Equestrian, and this is my dad, Malcolm. He's my grandfather's brother. Princess Skystar looked surprised. Princess Skystar looked surprised and squealed. Ah! I always knew there would be more than one of you two. Yeah. I always knew there would be more than one of you. Sorry, let me start again. Ah! I always knew there would be more than one of you two. That's better. Carver said, wait, you know about Humacorns? Skystar said, oh, yes, I do. I knew about them when I was little. I always dreamed about seeing them. And I already did, twice. I mean, look at you. You've got long arms, long legs, 5 fingers in each hand. And Princess Skystar took a sniff at Charlie. She said, you smell nice. Is that candy? Princess Skystar opened Charlie's rucksack and took out a bag of Skittles. Skystar said, oh, I'm so hungry, I forgot to eat. Malcolm said, what was the last thing you ate? Malcolm said, what was the last thing you ate? Skystar said, breakfast. Princess Skystar ate some. Princess Skystar ate some Skittles and smiled with delight. She said, what is this lovely treat? Charlie said, Skittles. It says taste the rainbow. Skystar said, well, it tastes delicious. Charlie smiled and said, Skystar, there's something me and my dad need to tell you. Yes. Skystar, there's something me and my dad need to tell you. Skystar said, what is it? Charlie told Princess Skystar what happened. Skystar shouted, 1,000 years! Princess Skystar panicked and said, "Oh no, oh my, this is bad, this is bad. I've been turned to stone for 1,000 years and the Stone King took over Equestria. What about my family?" Charlie said, "I don't know." Skystar said, "Then how did you get here?" Charlie said, "We came from a dimensional mirror from our world with Celestia and Luna." Princess Skystar interrupted Charlie. "Wait, did you say Celestia and Luna?" Malcolm said, "You know them." Skystar said, "Yes, they're my mom's best friend. They're my mom's friends. They knew each other before I was born. And I met them at Twilight's Friendship Festival." Charlie said, "Well, Celestia and Luna are also friends of your grandfather." Sorry, let me start again. Charlie said, "Well, Celestia and Luna are also friends of my grandfather." Skystar said, "Really?" Charlie nodded and said, He also told them about the crystal that turned him into an Humacorn, and he divided them into 3 crystals: belief, friendship, and magic. Princess Skystar looked confused and said, "What does that mean?" Charlie said, "It means he wants to help every pony to believe friendship is magic." Princess Skystar looked excited. She said, "Oh, I knew it! My dad always tells. Oh, I knew it! My dad always tells me. Yeah. My dad always tells me the story about your grandfather and his crystal." Charlie said, "Your dad?" Skystar said, "Yes, King Skyward. King Skyward. He was a wonderful dad. He was my everything until..." Charlie said, "Until what?" Charlie noticed and realized why Princess Skystar looked sad. He said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I know how it feels to lose a family member. When did it happen?" Skystar said, "A week before the Stone King invaded my home." Malcolm said, "Then you and your mom hid in Equestria." Malcolm said, "Then you and your mom hid in Equestria." Skystar said, "That's right. How did you know that?" Charlie said, Look, Skystar, I haven't got time to explain. Celestia and Luna will be waiting for us in the Great Hall. Once we find Starlight, we must get out of here, and I promise I'll tell you everything about how we know you." Skystar said, "Charlie, about Starlight. The last time I saw her, she's..." The 2 storm creatures burst the door open, entered the Storm King's bedroom, and pointed their lightning staffs at Charlie and his dad. Princess Skystar hid behind Charlie. The first storm creature said, "Equestrian!" Charlie and his dad looked at each other and the storm creatures. They said in unison, "Yes." The second storm creature said, "You're not Humacorns. You're just humans. Where are the others?" Charlie and his dad said in unison, "What others?" The first storm creature said, "We know you came to the castle with 2 princesses. Our Majesty's been watching you." Malcolm laughed and said, "You nitwit! How could your king be watching us? It's not like his blue fire torches are like security cameras." Malcolm looked at his son. Malcolm noticed that his son looked scared. Malcolm said, "You didn't know about it, did you? You didn't know about it, did you? You didn't know, did you?" Charlie said, "Well, Malcolm said, "You did." Charlie said, "Can we discuss this later?" Charlie and his dad were arguing. Malcolm said, "I should have known those fires were suspicious." Malcolm said, "Will you take it easy?" Malcolm says, "Take it easy? Why didn't you tell me these blue fires were watching us?" Charlie said, "I was focusing on my dreams." And Malcolm said, "Oh yeah? Then who's going to wake you up, Charlie boy?" Charlie said, "I told you!" Charlie quickly took the star from one of the storm creatures and shot blue lightning at them, which disintegrated them. Malcolm and Princess Skystar looked surprised as they saw what Charlie did. Charlie said, Charlie looked angry at his dad. Charlie looked angry at his dad and said, "Don't call me Charlie boy." Charlie grabbed his dad. Charlie grabbed his dad by his right arm. Charlie grabbed his dad by his right arm and left the Storm Queen's bedroom, while Princess Skystar followed them. Malcolm said, "Look what you did! You disintegrated them!" Charlie, his dad, and Princess Skystar were walking in the hall. Charlie said, Sorry you had to see that, Skystar. I just have to do that." Skystar said, Why? You were very brave. It's like you're protecting me." Charlie said, "A princess needs a bodyguard." Princess Skystar smiled. She said, "Well, I'm glad it's you." Charlie, his dad, and Princess Skystar arrived at the study area. Malcolm Equestrian said, "Now where are we?" Charlie said, I think we're in the study area." Charlie saw Starlight Glimmer's cutie mark inside the dark ball, floating in the middle of the room. Charlie said, "Starlight's cutie mark. What's it doing here?" Darklight Storm said, "Because she is here." Charlie, his dad, and Princess Skystar turned around and saw Starlight Glimmer appear from the shadows. Starlight Glimmer looked eviler than she was before. Darklight Storm said, "And she's not me." Charlie said, "Starlight Glimmer?" Skystar whispered, "Charlie, look at her flank." Charlie looked at Starlight Glimmer's flank and her new cutie mark. Charlie looked at Starlight Glimmer's flank and her new cutie mark that was a storm cloud with a dark lightning bolt. Charlie looked surprised. Charlie said, "You're not her, are you?" Darklight Storm says, "No, Starlight Spirit is in her cutie mark. I'm just a storm spirit who's taken over her body and her magic. My name is Darklight Storm. And I'm the Storm Queen's commander." Charlie said, "Storm Queen?" The storm creatures appeared from the shadows one by one and pointed their lightning stars at Charlie, his dad, Princess Skystar. Darklight said, "Now drop the staff." Charlie sighed and dropped his staff. The Darklight Storm smiled. She said, "That was easier than I expected. Guards, take these trespassers to our prison. Guards, take these trespassers and our prisoner to the Queen." The storm creatures took Charlie, his dad, and Princess Skystar away from the study area and brought them to the front room. Charlie said, "Skystar, you knew Starlight was evil again?" Skystar whispered, "Yes, but not the way she was before. She's the one who turned me into stone." Malcolm said, "And who is this Storm Queen?" Darklight Storm ordered Charlie, his dad, and Princess Skystar to be quiet. She said, "Silence! Now allow me to introduce the all-powerful, the almighty, the hater of cuteness, the hater of friendship, strong, power-hungry, and beautiful Storm Queen!" The storm carpet magically appeared on the floor. Then the storm creatures and Darklight Storm kneeled on the floor. The Storm Queen appeared, walked to the throne, and sat down. The Storm Queen said, "This better be important, Darklight. I was in the middle of my beauty sleep." Darklight Storm said, "There is, Your Majesty." The Storm Queen saw Charlie and Malcolm, and she looked happy. She said, "Ah, humans. I haven't seen one for a long time. Who might you be?" Charlie remained silent until the Darklight Storm demanded him to speak. She said, "Answer the Queen!" Skystar said, Don't make her lose her temper. Charlie Stein looked down at the storm. Charlie Stein looked at the Storm Queen and said, I'm Charlie C. Equestrian. This is Malcolm, my Superman. Malcolm went along with his son's joke. He said, That's what? I'm Clark Kent. Darklight Storm said, I'm sure he's joking, my queen. The Storm Queen said, I know he is. That old human has to be his father. Malcolm said, Hey, who are you calling old? The Storm Queen said, So, what are they doing here, Commander? Darklight Storm said, We found him in your study area with your prisoner. We found him in your study area with your prisoner, and they were trying to escape and steal Starlight's cutie mark. Skystar said, Well, you stole it first! The Storm Queen said, I know, I am so bad. Now, what shall I do with the trespassers? Charlie said, Excuse me. Charlie said, Excuse me, I would like to ask a question. Darklight Storm said, You don't talk to the Queen unless I told. Sorry, Darklight Storm says. Darklight Storm said, Don't talk to the Queen until I tell you to. The Storm Queen said, Stand down, Commander. I'll allow it. End of part 4. Well, which is chapter 4. Well, that's it for today. I've read 4 chapters and there's still more to go. This is the end of My Little Pony: Legend of the Humacorn Volume 1 Part 2, which is 4 chapters I read to you. This is Charlie McAvoy signing off by saying these words. Fantasy is my reality. Remember that, please. Thank you. And good night.